Hey, what's up humans? Welcome back to my channel. So today I've got for you guys this spectacularly beautiful piece of natural dark Ethiopian opal, and you can already see where it should be faced. There's so much color there, and I'm super excited to work on this piece. I've been saving it for a little bit because this color is just so phenomenal, but I decided today's the day to cut this one for you guys. As you can see, the colors are brilliant, and it has some honeycomb fingers in the side of it, but there's also a lot of potch, so that's something that I'm gonna have to take into account. Might slice that off. When we shine a flashlight through it, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's super clean. There's no cracks that have developed in there yet. There's a little bit of dirt, and it looks like we'll have room to work around that. When we measure it, it is 20 by 10, and then one of the halves is 8 millimeters, and the other half with the potch is 13 millimeters. When we weigh it out, it weighs 12.81 carats. So there's definitely some room for us to work with it. If you guys want to see how this beautiful natural dark opal gets shaped and polished into a gorgeous gemstone using a dremel, stay tuned. So right away I decided that I wanted to slice off the bottom using my little Dremel saw bit, so I marked it with a ballpoint pen, and this is the Dremel bit that I'll be working with, and I'll be taking this out on my porch to slice it. And so this is what it looks like after I sliced off that potch. It wasn't that much, but I just wanted to take off a little bit to save me some time. Now, since there's so much potch left on the bottom, I did focus a lot on flattening out the bottom. I decided that I wanted to make this a cushion cut, so concentrating on the bottom for like the first chunk of it seemed to work out pretty well since it was mostly square already. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but the stone had like a squarish side, and then it had a side that kind of tapered to sort of a point. And off camera, when I started to get it wet, the pointed side of the stone developed a crack, so I broke off that crack with my hand, and I just continued working on the bottom of the stone. So when I was flattening out the back of the stone, I wanted to kind of bring in the side that was the thinner part so that I could have a thicker stone overall and be able to get more of a dome on it. So as you can see here, that's me kind of concentrating on the one edge there, bringing it in, whilst also kind of focusing on the bottom of the stone to make it flat. Now, the thinner side kind of tapered a little bit into like the color bar in like an uneven way, so I really did need to kind of take that side in quite a bit, which is fine, which is cool. And then once I was done with the back, I really carefully took down the tallest, bumpiest parts of the color bar. Since we didn't have like a whole lot of color bar to work with, it was important to be really careful at this point and try to even out the face of it whilst also rounding it. So since one side was quite a bit taller, I did a lot of rounding on that side, and while I was rounding that side and bringing it down to the level of the shorter side, it also kind of helped to round out the shorter side, giving me a nice cushion cut in the end. When I was shaping the sides, I was sure to kind of hold the sides at a bunch of different angles, switching it around, making sure that each side was flat. And I did a good piece of this shaping of the sides on the black Nova point here. Also, on the black and the brown Nova points, I kind of took it as it was like flattening the sides, and I kind of pulled it inwards towards the face to kind of round the face while I was doing it, to kind of give it a really good cushion cut shape. And I kind of would hold it at the sides here, as you can see, and kind of twist it around in my hand while it has nice contact with the face of the stone. And this also kind of helped to get the stone rounded out, but also it helped get the edges by the sharp corners a bit rounded, because sometimes it's easy to neglect those sharp corners if you end up focusing on the sides and like the face and then the back. The edges and the sharp corners and the parts of the stone that kind of curve into the face can end up having more scratches on it because you just don't focus on it as much. So I'm really sure to, yeah, pull it inwards to kind of bevel it. But the dirt that was in the face of the stone was pretty superficial, and I was able to get all that dirt out really quickly. I didn't have to deal with grinding away any dirt while I was in the Nova points, and I was able to see the color in the flash the whole time that I was cutting it, which is pretty nice, because sometimes, as you guys have seen on my channel, you really lose a lot of that. And with this stone, you still got a lot of that flash, though it wasn't quite as good as when it's dry. As you guys will see here, this is the stone when it's full of water, so it still has a lot of that nice red flash, as you guys can see. But the colors always come out as we dry it out. But as you guys can see, the pillow cut a little bit, cushion cut. And then the very next day, it looked dry enough, and as you guys can see, the colors really came out in the drying. You got that honeycomb there that you can see through the back, but also some of the webbing started coming up through the face, which I really like, and it's great. So, moving on to the polishing. Since this wasn't a round shape, and I'm not super used to working with square shapes, I think one of my first ones was a square shape, but other than that, I haven't done a cushion cut other than that one. And also my thumbnail is clipped. I thought that I was going to have a really hard time holding on to this, because the last cushion cut that I did, which was actually one of my very first stones, I had a really hard time holding on to it, and I like dropped it over and over again. This one I dropped it a few times, but I feel like the sharp corners really gave me something to work with. Even though my nail is really short, I was able to stick the corner underneath my nail to get a really nice grip on it. And while you're working with the polishing grits, with all of the grits, it's really important to keep the stone moving constantly so that you don't burn it. And I like to switch the angles. I like to get the sides as many different angles as I can, because it helps it to be flatter, and sometimes if you hold it in the same position for too long, you'll be missing some scratches that would have been able to be gotten with a different angle. So that is what it is. And when I was working on the sides, I kept like moving the sides, starting at the very edge and then moving it towards the face, and then once I felt like I'd done that enough times, I kind of just held it in place and worked in a circular motion around the stone, both on the face and the back of it. And I feel like this worked pretty well. I didn't have any scratching issues. Every bit I felt like got it nice and polished, and this is what it looks like after it was polished. This isn't my beauty lights, but like, holy cow! Like, wow! Look at that! Look at the color! There's like orange and red and yellow, lots of green, a little bit of blue, there's some fuchsia in there, and I will show this to you guys in different lighting. I want to show you guys the back of this as well, because there's a little bit color coming through. Dang, it's off the charts. Flagstone pattern, a little bit of honeycomb. When we measure it, the final product is 11 by 8 by 5 millimeters. So we were able to keep a decent amount of it. I mean, I'm happy with that size. When we weigh it, it's 3.9 carats, so heck yeah! This is the stone as a rough piece, and it was a glorious rough piece. Not every day that you get to see that much color in a rough piece, and man, I was excited to work on it. Just really time to appreciate its previous glory, but when we cut it, of course we lost some weight. We always lose some weight. Losing weight's sometimes good, sometimes people hate it, but we lost 8.91 carats. He's the finished piece underneath that lamp that I have in my room, and it's really bringing out like the fuchsias and the blues a lot more. It's phenomenal. I have not ever had a stone like this, and it's just jaw-dropping to me how bright all the colors are, how many different colors there are. You really got the full rainbow, you got teal in there even, and I don't see pink very often, and it's just amazing. You get like a red-pink flash with a little bit of green at the same time sometimes, and every time you get that broad flash across the face, you get a little bit of green around the edges, like little fingers reaching inwards because of the honeycomb there. This is it in the sunlight, and you can really see what I was talking about catching the red and the green at the same time. This stone is just wow. It's amazing. And the fact that it's a natural dark as well, it's just a cherry on the top. Super rare, beautiful stone, and it's so bright. It's an overcast day on this day, and usually that doesn't bring out a whole lot of color in my opals, but this one just can't be held back. It's so bright from every angle. I'm blown away by this one. But as always, here's every time that I dropped it. So since I'm taking a little break from painting, I wanted to show you guys my staff here. Do something else a little crafty. As you can see, it's a cane sword, but I like to call it the shaping staff. You know, the one from He-Man that makes people stoned. But we're not gonna be stoned in this video. We're gonna make this staff stoned, but also was like shaping, like opal shaping, you know. Opals here, and I've got some light opals, and I wanted to put one opal on this staff for every video that I've had that has gotten over 1,000 views, just to celebrate. And so as you guys can see, I have some augmentation spots in this. There's some slots ready to be augmented, but fun thing about the real world is, you can put them on the other parts too. You don't need to just fill the augmentation slots. So this opal is for my last video that reached over 1K, and that was awesome. That was that stone that turned out to be almost 10 carats. This is for this stone. And then this one was a failure, but it was still really popular, so we're going to put a stone on there for that as well. And then we had the 6 carat reveal amazing color, and we're going to put a little crystal there for that. And then this was my very first video, and it reached 1K, so we're going to put a little stone on there for that as well. Now, a lot of these cuts that you're seeing are just because I'm holding it there to make sure that it's secure for a decent amount of time. But by the time we're done being able to put stones on this staff, it's going to be super powerful with all the magic of opals. If you guys remember this one that cracked, that one is my most popular video, I'm pretty sure. And then we also have the little pinfire crystal video. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that one. And then my second video ever is the dark opal. So we're going to put a dark opal on it for that dark opal success. So this is what the staff looks like right now. If I get another video that has more than 1,000 views, I'll bust this out again and put another stone on it to celebrate. I got this staff off Etsy, and I'd been looking for something like this for a really long time, a sword cane with like a dragon's claw, and actually you can detach the middle finger claw and put a different sphere in it. So someday I'd like to put a different sphere in it. I wanted to show you guys the stones in the sunlight because I felt like my beauty lights weren't really bringing out the colors of the lighter stones, and they're really colorful in person, but it's hard to catch it on camera. Hope you guys can see enough of that here. That, yeah, those stones do have great color. And of course that dark one has really good color. I got all these little stones off of Etsy as well, by the way, and yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to do that. Let me know what you guys think about this. And yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like this if you liked it. That'd be cool. Also, if you have like some people to like share this with, I mean, that'd be cool as well. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time I generally feel like posting. Later.